Let me ask you a question that may decide the entire course of your life. Why is it that some men and women, by the time they reach 30, live in houses they once only dreamed about, while others at the same age are drowning in debt, waiting for life to hand them a miracle that never comes? Is it because the world is unfair? Is it because the wealthy are chosen and the rest are forgotten? Or could it be, and I want you to think carefully on this, that riches are not given by chance but claimed by law, a law that is invisible but unbreakable, the same law that has raised young men from farmhouses into palaces, young women from poverty into fortune. That same law is available to you, if you are willing to use it. Now, before we go any further, let me challenge you. Do you believe wealth is possible for you before 30? Not for your neighbor, not for your friend, for you. If you cannot answer yes, then you have already failed. But if your answer is even a trembling yes, then stay with me. Because in the next hour, I will show you how desire, faith, persistence, and organized thought can take you from where you are now to riches beyond what you imagined. And I'll prove it, step by step, until you know with certainty that wealth is not a dream, but your destiny. Now that you have admitted to yourself that wealth is possible for you before 30, let us speak of the very first step, the very foundation upon which all riches are built: desire. I do not speak of a weak wish or the casual thought of wanting to be rich someday. No, I speak of a burning obsession so strong that it drives every action, every thought, every decision you make, until poverty itself disgusts you, and the idea of living an average life feels unbearable. Consider Henry Ford, a man born on a farm with no money, no education to boast of. Yet he held a picture in his mind so clearly of building a car that ordinary people could afford, that no ridicule, no failure, no obstacle could extinguish that desire. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before the light bulb finally burned. See, and yet his desire burned brighter than all those failures combined. Do you see, my friend, that every great fortune begins with a mind that refuses to accept poverty as its destiny? You must feel it in your chest, as though the thought of mediocrity were poison, as though every morning you rise with the thought, I was born for more, I will live in abundance, I will claim riches before 30. Let me speak to you directly now. If you do not desire riches so fiercely that you cannot sleep without dreaming of them, you will never hold them in your hands. So I ask you to do this exercise with me. Write down your definite money goal. Not someday, not one day, but the exact amount of wealth you wish to hold by the time you are 30, and repeat it every morning and every night until your subconscious begins to accept it as reality. This is not a game. This is not a hope. This is the law by which men and women rise from nothing to everything. Desire is the spark, the fire that will drive you forward when every door is closed, when every friend laughs, when every voice tells you it cannot be done. Remember Ford, remember Edison, remember that they were once laughed at as dreamers until their desire built fortunes the world could not ignore. And now say it aloud with me, with all your heart and all your power. I desire wealth with all my heart. Again, louder until your own voice shakes your very soul. I desire wealth with all my heart. Type it in the comments, write it on paper, burn it into your mind, because this is the beginning of your riches before 30. Desire is the starting point, but desire alone is not enough. For many men have desired riches and still lived and died in poverty because they lack the second step, faith. Hear me clearly. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. These are not empty words. They are a law as real as gravity itself. Faith is the bridge between your desire and your reality. It is the unseen hand that turns a dream into a fact. Without faith, desire is like a fire without fuel, flickering for a moment and then dying out. With faith, even the smallest spark of desire becomes an inferno that consumes all obstacles in its path. Look around you in today's world. The young men and women who became millionaires before 30 did not wait for permission. They did not ask if they were worthy. They acted as if they had already won. They walked with the posture of success, spoke with the certainty of victory, carried themselves as though wealth were already theirs, and the world bent to that belief. That is the secret, my friend. You must begin to act, think, and feel as though you are already rich, and by law, riches will rush toward you. Let me ask you, do you truly believe you can be wealthy before 30? Or is there still doubt whispering in your mind? Because until you conquer that doubt with faith, every action you take will be weak. So I challenge you now, close your eyes for a moment and picture the exact life you will live at 30. See the home, the car, the freedom, the bank account, the smile on your face as you look back knowing you refuse to quit. Hold that image so vividly that your subconscious accepts it as truth. This is daily practice, not once, not twice, but every morning and every night until belief becomes automatic. And now I want you to make a declaration, to put your faith into words. Type it in the comments right now. I believe in my future riches. Say it aloud with me. I believe in my future riches. Again, I believe in my future riches. With each repetition, feel the doubt leaving your body. Feel the power of belief entering your soul. Because faith is not hoping, faith is knowing. And the moment you truly believe, your wealth before 30 is no longer a possibility. It is a certainty. Now that you have felt the power of faith stirring within you, we move to the method by which faith is strengthened and desire is cemented into reality, autosuggestion. Understand this well. Your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seed you plant in it, whether it is riches or poverty, success or failure, confidence or fear. And here's the great truth. The subconscious does not argue, it does not question, it does not reject, it accepts whatever is repeated to it with emotion, whether good or bad. If you say to yourself each day, I am broke, I cannot do it, life is unfair, then your subconscious accepts that as fact and works tirelessly to make it so. But if you declare with feeling, I will be rich before 30, I am worthy of wealth, I am destined for abundance, your subconscious accepts that just as easily and begins to move people, opportunities, and circumstances in your favor. Think of it like this. Every word you repeat is a command to the army of your mind, and the soldiers obey without question. This is why the great men and women of wealth repeat their goals daily, morning and night, until the thought becomes as natural as breathing. I urge you now, do not leave this to chance. Take the paper where you wrote your definite money goal. Read it aloud when you rise and when you retire. Put emotion behind it. See it as if it were already true. And over time, you will notice your actions aligning with your words, your decisions guided by your belief, and your destiny shaped by your autosuggestion. Let us practice together right now. Say these words with me, slowly, with power. I will be rich before 30. Again, I will be rich before 30. One more time, louder, with every fiber of your being. I will be rich before 30. As you repeat, feel it sinking past your conscious mind, planting itself deep into your subconscious where it cannot be uprooted. This is not imagination, this is law. And from this moment forward, you will no longer speak of your dreams as hopes, but as certainties, because you have instructed the only power capable of turning thought into reality, your own subconscious mind. Welcome back, my friend. If you are still here, I know something powerful about you. You are not like the millions who click away at the first sign of challenge. You are one of the rare few willing to feed your mind until it transforms your life. And before we go further, let me pause for just a moment and say this. If these words are speaking to you, if you feel your spirit stirring with possibility, then do me one favor. Hit that like button so I know you are with me, and subscribe to this channel so that every week your mind is strengthened and your belief is sharpened. Now let us continue, for the next step is vital. We have spoken of desire, faith, and the power of autosuggestion. But tell me, what use is desire if it has no direction? What good is faith if it has no vessel? What power has autosuggestion if you have no plan to carry it out? And here lies the difference between those who dream and those who do. Specialized knowledge. You have been told all your life that education is the key. But I tell you now, general education will not make you rich. The world is filled with men and women who can quote books, who can pass exams, who hold degrees that hang proudly on their walls, and yet they struggle to pay their bills, while others who left college or never entered at all have built fortunes so vast they astonish the world. Why? Because knowledge will not make you rich. Applied knowledge will. Think of the young man who left school and taught himself how to code, and by 25 had created software worth millions. Think of the young woman who dropped out of college but mastered the art of sales, building a company before 30 that now employs hundreds. These are not accidents. They are examples of a law. Riches come to those who focus, who master one high-value skill and apply it until the world cannot ignore them. Ask yourself now, what skill are you mastering that will make you wealthy before 30? It could be trading, it could be marketing, it could be design, it could be leadership. But it must be something that solves a problem for others, something the world will pay for gladly. I want you to stop for a moment, reflect, and then write it in the comments below. Comment the one skill you are learning that will make you wealthy. Declare it, share it, let others see your commitment, because when you speak it, you strengthen it. And remember, the world does not pay you for what you know. It pays you for what you can do. So master your craft, apply your knowledge, and wealth will follow you as surely as day follows night. Now that you understand the power of specialized knowledge, let us move into the very workshop where that knowledge becomes wealth. Imagination. For what good is skill without vision? And what use is knowledge if it is never shaped into ideas that solve problems and create riches? My friend, imagination is the laboratory of the mind, the place where desires are given form, where faith finds direction, and where specialized knowledge is turned into fortunes. Every great invention, every towering business, every fortune ever built began first in the quiet corners of someone's imagination. Consider Thomas Edison, who pictured light filling the world long before he built the bulb, or Henry Ford, who imagined an automobile for the common man before the first engine ever roared to life. These men were not magicians. They were dreamers who dared to give their imagination authority. And I tell you this, the wealth you seek before 30 will not appear from thin air. It must first be created in your mind. You must picture yourself living the life you desire so vividly that it becomes more real than the life you currently see. So I ask you now, close your eyes for a moment and imagine with me. Imagine the home you will live in at 30, the kind that makes your neighbors stop and stare. Imagine the car that waits in your driveway, the sound of its engine when you start it, the feel of the leather beneath your hands. Imagine the freedom of waking each morning knowing your bank account is full, that bills are no burden, that your time belongs only to you. Do not just see it, feel it, hear it, taste it, live it. This is not childish daydreaming. This is the act of creation. Wealth is first assembled in the imagination, and only then does it appear in the world. Say this with me, with conviction. I create wealth in my mind before it appears in my hands. Again, louder, until your very spirit believes it. I create wealth in my mind before it appears in my hands. This is the power that built empires. This is the power that has raised men and women from poverty to greatness. And this same power is alive in you right now. The difference between those who remain average and those who rise to wealth is not chance. It is the courage to imagine boldly and to believe those images into existence. Use your imagination daily, my friend, because it is the only workshop where your fortune can be built before it is born. You have now seen the pictures of your wealth in the workshop of your imagination. But let me tell you a truth that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Without a plan, imagination is nothing but a cloud that vanishes in the wind. Dreams without plans are wishes, and wishes are the toys of children. If you truly intend to be rich before 30, your imagination must be harnessed into an organized plan. Every fortune, from Edison's light bulb to Ford's automobile, was not only imagined, but carefully organized into steps, into blueprints, into actions that could be carried out by men and women willing to work. You may hold the grandest vision in your mind, but unless you break it into clear, definite steps, your vision will die in the shadows. Hear me now. Organized planning is the bridge that carries your dream into reality. So let us make this practical. Take the vision you created in your imagination, that home, that car, that freedom, and write down exactly what steps will lead you there. How much money do you need each month? What skills must you master? What habits must you practice daily? Who must you partner with? Which resources must you acquire? Write them all and then organize them into a plan that can be acted upon now, not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but today. This plan may not be perfect, and that is no matter, For no plan is perfect at the beginning. But as Napoleon Hill himself wrote, riches respond to definite plans, backed by definite desire, and carried out with persistence. Think of Edison, who did not simply imagine light, but organized a team, tested every filament, failed thousands of times, and yet followed his organized plan until success could no longer hide from him. And Ford, who not only dreamed of a car for the people, but organized factories, gathered skilled men, set production goals, and worked his plan until the world was changed. Their fortunes did not fall from heaven. They rose from plans put into action. So I ask you now, are you willing to write your plan and act upon it? If so, type in the comments below. I commit to my plan. Do not let your words be idle. Let them be the start of something solid. Because the man who imagines but does not plan is a dreamer, but the man who imagines and organizes that dream into action is destined for wealth. Remember this always. Organized planning turns invisible riches into visible reality. And the sooner you commit to your blueprint, the sooner you will walk into the fortune that is waiting for you. Now that you have placed your dream into a plan, there is one more step that will decide whether that plan ever leaves the page: decision. Let me speak plainly. Indecision is the graveyard where most men bury their dreams. Procrastination is the thief that robs you not tomorrow, but today. Riches, opportunities, success itself, they flee from the man who hesitates, but they rush toward the man who decides. You may have the greatest plan, the sharpest skill, the grandest imagination, but if you do not decide to act now, you will remain as you are. Think of it. How many people have said, I will start tomorrow. I will begin when I feel ready. I will act when conditions are perfect. And yet tomorrow never comes. Readiness never arrives. Perfection never appears. And so they live in regret while their youth, their energy, their chance slips away. My friend, you are young. And if you are to be rich before 30, you must make decisions with courage, not fear. The great fortunes of the world were built not by those who delayed, but by those who dared. Henry Ford was told his car would never work, but he decided anyway. Edison was told light could not be harnessed, but he decided anyway. And the young entrepreneurs of today, those who built companies from laptops in their bedrooms, they too decided and acted, while others hesitated. Let me tell you this. Every time you delay, you strengthen the chains of poverty, but every time you decide, you break them. So I challenge you right now. What is one decision you can make today that moves you closer to your wealth? It may be to start your business, to learn that skill, to leave that job, to save that first dollar. Whatever it is, decide it now and act before the day is over. Do not merely think, do not merely plan, decide. And to make this powerful, I want you to declare it. Type it in the comments. I decide to act today. Say it with me aloud. I decide to act today. Again, I decide to act today. Feel the strength of decision running through your veins, for this is the mastery of procrastination. And once you learn it, nothing can hold you back. Riches do not come to the hesitant. They come to those who decide. You have now made your decision, but let me warn you of the truth that so many ignore. One decision alone will not make you rich. For the world does not hand over its treasures easily. It tests every man and woman to see if their desire is strong enough to endure. And the test comes in the form of obstacles, failures, ridicule, and delay. This is why persistence is the secret weapon of the young rich. It is persistence that separates those who dream for a week from those who build fortunes for a lifetime. Listen carefully. Every person who ever became wealthy before 30 was tempted to quit, but they refused. Henry Ford was told his car was foolish, but he persisted. Edison failed 10,000 times, but he persisted. Young entrepreneurs today, mocked by their families, doubted by their friends, rejected by investors, they persisted until the very same people who laughed were forced to applaud. My friend, riches are not for the faint of heart. They belong to those who can be knocked down 7 times and rise 8. And this is where most men fail, not because they lacked intelligence, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lacked persistence. They quit at the first sign of difficulty, and poverty welcomed them with open arms. But you, if you would be rich before 30, must cultivate persistence like a muscle. You must build it daily. When doors close, knock again. When people laugh, keep working. When failure comes, look it in the eye and whisper, I will not quit. This is the spirit that builds fortunes. So let us make it real. Think of the goal you wrote, the plan you imagined, the decision you made. Now commit yourself to it with persistence. Repeat after me with all the force in your chest. I will persist until I win. Again, louder, stronger. I will persist until I win. Once more so that your very subconscious trembles. I will persist until I win. Write it in the comments right now. Declare it to the world, because when you persist, the universe itself bends to your will. Remember this, talent will not save you, education will not guarantee you, luck will not carry you. But persistence will build your wealth. Persistence will keep you on the path when others fall away, and persistence will be the reason you hold riches in your hands before the age of 30. Now that you have armed yourself with persistence, you must understand this. No man becomes wealthy alone. Riches are never the product of a single mind. They are born from a union of minds working together in harmony. This is the principle of the Mastermind Alliance, and it is as vital to your wealth before 30 as desire, faith, or persistence. Look at the great fortunes of history. Andrew Carnegie surrounded himself with men of greater knowledge and skill than he possessed. Henry Ford gathered engineers and thinkers who made his dream practical. Even Thomas Edison had a team working tirelessly beside him to bring his imagination to life. And today, the young millionaires and billionaires of our age, do you think they acted alone? No, they built networks, formed partnerships, joined forces with those who believed as they did. My friend, you cannot afford to walk through life with doubters, critics, or small thinkers, for their influence will poison your persistence and shrink your imagination. The company you keep will determine the wealth you build. Walk with men and women who talk of opportunity, not failure, who speak of abundance, not lack, who encourage your plan instead of mocking it. This is why Napoleon Hill himself said, "Align with those whose minds can unite with yours to form a greater mind than either alone." That is the mastermind. So I ask you now, look at your circle. Do they strengthen your desire or weaken it? Do they fuel your faith or drain it? If they do not lift you, you must leave them behind, for your wealth cannot grow in poisoned soil. Begin seeking out those who share your vision, those who dream as boldly as you do, those who will remind you of your destiny when you forget it yourself. And to make this real, I want you to take action now. Type in the comments the name of one skill, one group, or one type of person you will seek out to form your Mastermind Alliance. Declare it, I will surround myself with wealth minds. Say it with me, with conviction. I will surround myself with wealth minds. Again, louder, so the weak voices of doubt are silenced. I will surround myself with wealth minds. For know this, your persistence will carry you far, but when it is combined with the persistence of others, when it is fueled by their ideas, their encouragement, their strength, you become unstoppable. And it is then, and only then, that your riches before 30 become not just possible, but inevitable. Now that you have chosen the right minds to walk with, let us turn inward. For the greatest alliance you will ever form is not with another man, but with yourself. Specifically with your subconscious mind. This hidden partner, this silent power, is working day and night, whether you are aware of it or not. It accepts whatever you feed it, and then it moves heaven and earth to make it real. But here's the danger. It does not choose between good or bad, success or failure, wealth or poverty. It will plant whatever seeds you drop into it. If you feed it fear, it will produce failure. If you feed it doubt, it will build obstacles. But if you feed it faith, desire, persistence, and vision, it will open doors you did not even know existed. My friend, your subconscious mind is the greatest servant you will ever command. But like any servant, it obeys orders without question. And what orders do you give it daily? Do you tell it, I am broke, I cannot do this, I am unlucky? Then it accepts and builds that life for you. Or do you declare, I am wealthy, I am powerful, I will be rich before 30? Then it accepts and shapes the world to match that belief. This is why I have told you to write your goal, to speak it aloud, to imagine it as if it were already yours. These are not empty rituals, they are commands to your subconscious. The greatest men of fortune have all used this law, knowingly or not. Every prayer, every repeated thought, every daily affirmation, is an instruction to the mind beneath your mind. And here is your task. Guard your thoughts as you would guard treasure, because every thought is a seed, and the harvest will always come. If you think failure, failure will arrive. If you think riches, riches will come. So let us plant wealth in your subconscious right now. Repeat these words with me with strength and belief. My subconscious mind is a magnet for wealth. Again, my subconscious mind is a magnet for wealth. Once more, with every ounce of your being, my subconscious mind is a magnet for wealth. Type it in the comments below, declare it, because the more you repeat it, the deeper it sinks into the soil of your subconscious. And remember this, your conscious mind is the farmer, but your subconscious is the soil. Plant wisely, water daily, and you will reap riches before the age of 30. For the subconscious never sleeps, and it never fails to deliver what it is told to believe. You have now learned how to command your subconscious mind, but before you march forward to wealth, I must warn you of the most dangerous enemy you will ever face. Fear. Desire can be built, faith can be strengthened, persistence can be developed. But if fear is allowed to live in your heart, it will strangle your dream before it ever takes form. Fear is the invisible thief that robs men of fortune long before they ever taste success. And hear me clearly, there are 6 ghosts of fear, and they haunt almost every man and woman alive. The fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. These 6 are responsible for more failures than all other forces combined. The fear of poverty keeps men clinging to jobs they hate. The fear of criticism stops women from speaking their ideas aloud. The fear of ill health keeps people living small, as if fragility is their destiny. The fear of loss of love makes men accept misery rather than risk rejection. The fear of old age convinces them it is too late. And the fear of death whispers that life is meaningless. My friend, if you are to be rich before 30, you must destroy these ghosts with faith and courage. For as long as fear remains, your subconscious will obey it, and it will build failure just as easily as it builds wealth. Think of how many young people never start their business because they fear what others will say. Think of how many never invest, never create, never take a risk because they fear losing money. Yet every wealthy man you admire was once called foolish, once called reckless, once told to quit, and still they moved forward because their faith was greater than their fear. I ask you now, which of these fears has held you back? Be honest with yourself, and then declare today that it has no more power over you. Type it in the comments. I destroy my fears. Say it with me, with fire in your chest. I destroy my fears. Again louder, I destroy my fears. For know this, fear is a ghost. It has no substance except the substance you give it, and when you refuse to feed it, it dies. And when fear dies, your desire, your faith, your persistence, your imagination, and your plan are free to lead you to riches. Remember this law. Fear and faith cannot live in the same heart. One must drive the other out. And if you choose faith, fear will flee, and wealth will take its place. Now that you have cast out fear, let me prove to you that these principles are not mere words, not theories locked away in dusty books, but living truths that have raised men and women from nothing to riches before 30. Consider a young Steve Jobs, who with Steve Wozniak built Apple from a garage. He had no fortune, no degree from Harvard, no corporate ladder to climb, only desire, imagination, and the courage to act on his vision. He faced rejection, mockery, and setbacks. Yet before his 30th birthday, he had changed the world of technology and built wealth that most men never see in a lifetime. Think of Mark Zuckerberg, who did not wait for permission to start, but launched Facebook from his dorm room at Harvard. He was criticized, doubted, and told it would fail. Yet by his 20s, he commanded a company worth billions. Look to Oprah Winfrey. Born in poverty, abused, ridiculed, told she had no place in media, and yet through persistence and faith, she became a millionaire before 30 and a billionaire in time. Or Rihanna, who turned her voice and her brand into a business empire that lifted her to billionaire status in her early 30s, proving that imagination, faith, and specialized knowledge are not limited to one industry or one type of person. They are universal. And let us not forget Elon Musk, who poured himself into Zip2 and PayPal in his 20s, sleeping on office floors, mocked for his wild dreams, but persisting until those dreams became fortunes. Do you see, my friend? These men and women are not gods. They are not chosen few. They are simply examples of the law I have taught you. Desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, and the right alliances. They faced the same doubts, the same fears, the same obstacles that you face, but they did not surrender. And if they could do it, why not you? You are no different. The law that made them rich is the same law working for you now. All that is required is that you believe, decide, and persist. So let me ask you, whose story inspires you most? Type it in the comments below. Declare it so you remind yourself that you too are part of this great pattern of wealth builders. And say this with me now, with conviction. Their stories are proof of my destiny. Again, louder. Their stories are proof of my destiny. For their victories are not exceptions. They are confirmations that the path is real, and that your riches,